keen to get some questions from you all, and couple of I guess plugs. If you obviously we do a property business mentor program, and got quite a lot on it, getting some great success from it, and I want to push that and work with more people this year. So if you are interested, then I'll drop this link in the in the chat, and you can schedule a call with myself. We'll just have a breakthrough call, just have a chat about your business, where you want to go, what your exit strategy is, and how we can potentially get you there. If you want to come on board the mentor program, great. If you don't, hopefully I can just give you a few tips to get started, and you'll make a success of it on your own. I'm happy with that, as long as I've added value to you. And if anybody would like a free trial in our mentorship, the mastermind group, we've got a nice little WhatsApp group going on, where everyone just talks everything property, and it's like-minded individuals. There's a 30-day free trial on that. So I will drop that into the chat as well. So let's just have a jump in here and have a look at some questions. Okay, here we go. Can you give any tips for save money on refurbishment? I'm doing 2 projects and I'll spend at least 15k for each one. I think you definitely start with the 3 quotes sort of rule, is get 3 quotes and always like compare and try and squeeze them down, play them off one another. And then you kind of build your team. Like we don't really go for quotes now. I've got the guys that I've used for a while now. I trust them. I might have a couple of each. So I might have a couple of Sparkies, and I might have a couple of handymen and things like that. But that's only in case they're on a project and they can't get over to mine or whatever it might be. But typically we use the same guys, and we all know, they know what they're getting from me. I know what I'm getting from them, and it works very well for us. So over the time, I feel like the pricing's fair, I get good value for money, and putting that team together is taken. Don't get me wrong, I've been through some bad ones. Obviously, I've just won a court case against one who tried to shaft me. So I have had some bad ones, but you've got to, I guess, what's the saying? Kiss a few frogs. But yeah, get your quotes initially if you haven't got that team, and then do a bit of research yourself, and probably ask some questions in the group. So if you want to pick my brain as well. I don't know what your projects are like, but 15k for a project, if that is just a light refurbishment, that sounds a fortune. If you're doing extensions or some heavy work in there, then obviously it might be a bit more realistic. But it depends on what the project is. Anita, could you share your deal analyzer? I can, but it'll cost you. It's on the lukeholmesacademy.co.uk. You can buy it over there. There's a lot of time and effort gone into putting that together, and it's a great tool. It's saved me a fortune. So for the price that we charge for it, the amount it'll save you, I think it's well worth the money. So you can head over there and get that if you want. What would you say the typical interest rate for a bridging loan would be, please? So this again depends on, so with bridging loans, you have a few options. So you can go for sort of a very short term. So you might have a 1 month, or you might go 3 months, 6 months. It all depends on how big your project's going to be. So if you, and the rate dictates as well, depending on the term of it. So the shorter the fund terms, the higher the interest rate, and naturally, because they want to make more money out of you. So, but anywhere from, I would say we probably 0.75 to 8% a month, over to about 1.2. Worst case scenario. I tend to take them on a 3-month term, because I feel like pretty much the day I get the keys, I ring the mortgage broker and I say, can we start the refinance? And he'll more than likely say, have you finished the refurb? And I say yes, even though we haven't even started it. But I've got that much trust in the team that we'll get the refurb done in like 2.5 to 4 weeks. So by the time that we've gone through the application of the refinance, we've got the value to actually come out, because by the time they book themselves in, it's a few weeks anyway. I will have that project finished, and then they come look around and get it refinanced. And that's kind of where we've really got slick at this whole process and just really speeding the whole thing up. Can you recap me on the 6-month rule, please? Right? Yeah. So basically, in the good old days, or the bad old days, whichever way you want to look at it, there was quite a bit of, you could actually do a same-day mortgage. So I could get the keys for a property today and I could remortgage it tomorrow, and it was causing a lot of mortgage fraud. So the governing bodies put in basically a 6-month rule. So effectively, you're not meant to acquire a property and then get another mortgage out on it within 6 months. So that was kind of to protect that. Does a property need to be B&B for the strategy to work? Yes. Well, if you're probably putting extensions and adding serious value, no. But if you're going to be, hold on. So if you're going to buy the sort of stuff I've showed you in the pictures, well, there's no way someone can charge market value for that property. The type of properties that you'll pick up are from deceased people that have lived there for 20, 30 years, elderly people that have been moved into care, and then they're the ones that are sort of the nasty looking ones, because they haven't updated them, and but there's nowhere in the world that they can ask market value for those type of properties. So naturally they will be below market value. It's then up to your negotiation skills at how much further below market value you get them. But for BRR to work, you do need to acquire the property below market value, because with only doing light refurbishment, they're only going to give you the market value of the property. They're not going to say, oh, well, you've added, however many square meters onto the property, so we're going to actually, give you more. So in essence, you do need to find below market value properties. But naturally, if you're looking for the right properties, they should be below market value anyway, or at least starting below market value to attract people to buy them. Because if someone's got a nicely done up property versus the ones that need doing, and they're both the same price, well, someone's always going to buy the nicely done up one. Shouldn't you join the MP land ownership? Yeah, you can. Yeah. You can also get government grants for properties that have been sort of sat in these conditions or empty for quite some time. The only downside to them is by the time you've gone through the approval process and they've been out and inspected it and awarded you, you could have had the property done, dusted, money back in the bank account, and cracking on with the next one. So, but there is that option there as well if you do find a property that has been stuck quite a while. Property prices appear really clean in the north. Can this strategy work in other areas, e.g. the Midlands, where your comparative property 52k may cost 10 Yeah, of course it can. At the end of the day, it's just about recycling the money. So, we've got, let's think of something. We've done this on 140, 150 grand properties. It's just about getting the price. The purchase price is key. It's like anything in life that if you want to make money, you don't make money in the sale price. You make money in the buy price. Mike Ashley doesn't make fortunes selling his stuff out of Sports Direct. Mike Ashley makes fortunes buying his stuff. When he buys his stuff, that's when he makes his money. I hate to use him because I don't like him at all for what he's done to our football club. But, he is a very shrewd businessman and he knows what he's doing, and it's all about the buy price. If you buy a property cheap enough, it could be £1 million. If you buy it cheap enough and you can refinance all your money back out of it by getting the uplifted value, then it doesn't matter what the price of the property is. Obviously, you might have a bigger barrier to entry, i.e. you might need more deposit, you might need to borrow money, you'll probably pay higher bridging fees, etc., but it's all relative. So the main idea is you're still going to get your money out. You'll then no doubt get a higher rent, because I'd imagine that the 130 grand property in the Midlands is going to get a lot more rent than our 52 grand property in the Northeast. So yeah, it is, but it's just about crunching the numbers through and making sure that it works. When running numbers to see if it probably works, I'm a little unsure how to work out the cost of a refurb. I feel we've missed out on the potential days because our office incorporated a cautious refurb. Yeah, so this is kind of you've got to, you can't really buy the experience on this. You've got to just get on as many viewings as possible, cost as many up, and then you've actually got to start seeing the numbers work through projects. So obviously when cost up there, okay, well the paint will be X amount of money, the bathroom will be that, the bathroom that, then you actually get the invoices and it marries up. It gives you the confidence that you start to know what you're doing. In the meantime, you can kind of Google average bathroom cost, average this, average that. But if you get three quotes, then obviously you're going to get an average figure and you'll be somewhere thereabouts. Now, in terms of losing deals because of refurb costs, I totally get that, and I've probably done that myself by being too cautious. I actually probably get a bit too greedy at times and lose deals where I want all the money back out, and if it doesn't fit, I'll just move on to another one. Whereas, leaving 6, 7, 8 grand in a property is not the end of the world. You can still get that money out quite quickly, and then you can still build this portfolio nicely. Obviously, Nick, you're on the mentor program, so anything you want to run by me, just ping it over, and I'll have a look at it for you. I'm quite happy to do that. And but I always think with property, you go with your gut feeling as well. So if you like it or you feel it's a good deal, go with it. If you don't and you feel like you've got the numbers wrong, then obviously stay away from it. What do you think about house prices for the next few months? I knew someone was going to ask this. Bought 2 3-bed semi-detached houses and I'm nearly ready for remortgage after refurb, but I'm afraid the house price will drop down next few months. I think the market is going to have a small dip. I don't think it's going to be as bad as everyone suggests. Obviously, Brexit was meant to cost us 30% of our house prices because of the media, and or according to the media, and it cost us, well, nothing. I think the Northeast grew 2% last year. So, yeah, listen, I mean, now is like, just unforeseen times and something that we'll all look back on and hopefully laugh about. But right now, it doesn't feel that laughable. But it is a small amount of time. I think what the government are doing to try and keep cash moving through people's bank accounts in terms of you got to remember 80% of the population are employed. So, 80% of them are sat at home, getting paid 80% of their salary, so they're not spending much. So you'd like to think that hopefully there's a bit of cash still to go through. Now, I know obviously there's unemployment's going to go up and there have been a lot of people laid off, but hopefully the government are doing enough to try and keep the economy ticking, keep businesses afloat so that they can come back heavily and recruit. And, I do think there'll be a bit of a dip, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's going to be this sort of catastrophic number that everyone keeps going on about. The whole world's in the same situation. It's not just us, so that's just my personal opinion. I've actually got three going through the mill at the minute, and I'm due to complete on them. One of them's had a valuation, the other two need valuations, but I'll be trying to chip them anyway, but that's not because I think the market's going to dip too heavily. I think that's just my strategy, and I want more money off the bottom end price. But I'm still quite confident that the way I've bought them, there's enough room in there to make them good BRR deals. They're worthwhile proceeding with. If it means I tie up another 3 or 4 months worth of money, then so be it. They're still good deals. I'm not planning on going anywhere. These deals are going to be in my portfolio until I pass them on to kids. So, I've got plenty of time to make up any short losses. But that's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. I might eat my words. The property market could crash 50%, and well, then we're all a bit goosed, aren't we? But it's a crystal ball. No one knows. Week by week, this thing changes. So, we just got to keep an eye on it, I think. Is it risky to do this in the market drop? May drop. Yeah, any investment's a risk, right? So, you can't do this and have no risk. If you want to be, I think the definition of an entrepreneur is someone who takes financial risk for financial gain. If you want to have a business that's worth shouting about and be proud of, and you're gonna have to take some risks, and but What's the worst that can happen? If you buy it below market value enough, a bit like I've just explained there, I'm still confident that they're good deals to have. Even if 5% gets knocked off the price, even if 10% gets knocked off, they'll still be okay deals to probably invest in, as long as I can maybe just chip the vendor a bit more. But you know, the market going against you is always going to go against you. But one thing property has taught us over the years, and will continue to teach us time and time again, is property goes up in value. You know, and depending on the pace of the value, depends on the economy. But property always goes up in value. I guarantee you, if I stop now with my portfolio, it'll be worth 3 times as much in 20 years' time. You know, so you've just got to you've got to play in the markets as part of the game. Do you buy deals, Ryan? I am sourcing property to help assist in getting a deposit for my first buy-let. If not, would you or anyone else in here be interested in JVing with me to sell the deal, as I am not compliant yet? I do buy deals, yes, and I will always buy a good deal. I'll always look to JV with anybody that I think has got a great deal. And you know, at the end of the day, I haven't got the luxury of time too much these days with all the bits and bobs we've got going on. So, you know, I actually leverage viewings out now. I don't even go on them. You know, I get reports filed and they come to me, and then we make offers based on that. So part of, you know, you talk about sort of the downtime we've got now. I sort of look back through our business strategy, because we look to acquire 5 properties a month. Well, I can't see us probably doing that over the next month, maybe 6 weeks. So we're going to have a bit of catch up to do. So part of my strategy was teaming up with a few good deal sources. Whilst I don't normally do it, I'm not against it. I have bought deals off deal sources before, but I feel like we've got a very good strategy in-house now to get what we need without paying the fees. But if someone brings me a deal and it's a genuine deal, and it is pretty much most money out with the fees included, not fees excluded, then I'll have a look at it here. How do you decide what the property might sell for after a refurb? So in your example, did you anticipate it will value at 80k plus after the refurb, and how did you foresee this? Yep. So this is part of the, you know what you're doing. You just basically look at sold comparables over the last, you know, look at history, look at what's for sale, look at what's around the property. Obviously, I know now experience has taught me sort of your area. You know, you get very familiar with prices in your area. You know what a 2-bed terrace is, what a 3-bed is, what a 2-bed flat is. You know, in that area, and that is one thing that experience brings is that. But without no experience, you can quite easily just have a look on, you know, Rightmove, and it'll tell you there's a lot of information on Rightmove. You know, and I was confident I'd get 85 grand was my figure that I put into Deal Analyzer on this one, if I remember rightly, and it came up at 85 grand. So, can you recommend a good broker for a remortgage? Yeah, there's plenty out there. Obviously, mine for one. So if you want to pop us your number over on a message or on an email, I'll pass it on to them. But there's plenty of good brokers. You know, I think join. You just put a message on Facebook and you'll probably get one. But yeah, I'm more than happy to introduce my guys to you as well. Are you refurbing to HMOs or family buy-to-lets? We do everything. So literally everything. So I find a deal. You know, for me, first and foremost, I want to spend money. So I'll spend, if I can spend the money, I'll look at it. I always analyze it as a standard family buy-to-let, because, you know, as I said, that's always going to be around. So I'll spend the money. I look for the deal. Once I've found the deal and I've analysed it as a buy-to-let, I then think, can I get it into a super strategy? So can I make it a mini-mo? Can I make it a HMO? Can I make it a service accommodation unit? I.e., can I make it cash flow more net profit a month than a standard buy-to-let? If it still works on a buy-to-let, great, we buy it. And then if I can then enhance the cash flow that comes out the unit, I'll look to do that to maximise the amount of money that comes out the unit. So a wide, diverse range of it, and I think you should be diverse. I think times right now are telling us that you should be diverse. You should have multiple streams of revenue coming into your business from different avenues, and you know, you should be sort of a size where you can have one close off and the rest of it still supports. You know, and that's fortunately, the position we're in right now, and that'll see us through this storm and allow us to continue to push forward afterwards. Could you do more videos on systems and processes you get the VAs to do to funnel your leads? Yeah. Yeah, no problem at all. I mean, there is a few secrets in there I don't want to give away, but but no, yeah, I've got no problem. You know, VAs are great, depending on where you source them, but they're a good way for buying time. I do a lot of that at the minute, is buy time. You know, I'd rather pay somebody to ensure that we still get the result, because if and this is the problem with business owners when they first get started, is they try and do everything themselves, but what they don't realize is investing in somebody else's time would actually get them further forward, even though at the time they think, oh, well, I've got no money coming into the business, so how can I pay somebody else? It's not an expense, it's an investment. You know, if they can be scrolling Rightmove whilst you're sat at work doing your work, rather than spending like an hour a night when you get home from work, if you could have someone doing that 8 hours a day and giving you the right information based on what you've taught them to then take action on, well, you're going to get more out of that. You're going to get on more viewings. You're going to acquire more property. You're going to source more deals, you know. So rather than, you know, it's like our marketing, we look at what does it what's the cost to acquire a unit of an advert, you know, and if the cost of the advert's more than the acquisition, it's not worth doing. But if the cost of the advert's, you know, less or substantially less than the acquisition, then we just turn the marketing spend up and then you acquire more and more and more. And that's the same with VAs. You can have multiple VAs, and as long as you're getting the ROI off them, then, you know, it pays for itself. In your example, your refurb was $5K. Did this include a new kitchen in your bathroom? What else did it include, please? No, it didn't. The kitchen, what did we do in that one again? The kitchen, I don't know. The units I think we used, we didn't put a full kitchen in there. We didn't put a full kitchen in there. We put a new boiler in there, if I remember rightly, because it's one on those Hive systems. So we definitely put a new boiler in there, and the bathroom was okay in there. So we just touched that up a bit with some new basins and stuff. It was mainly just a sort of a strip out, a plastered job, and then get it decorated in carpet. So and then sort of touched up the other areas. Where are you sourcing your VAs? Facebook. I do everything on Facebook. You know, Facebook's the cheapest way to network. It's the quickest way to network. It's the best way to network. It's the, you know, you can speak to whoever you want in whatever country you want, and you know, and it gets results. So there's I don't use them, but apparently South America is quite good for VAs because of the time difference, rather than the Philippines. But at the same time, the Philippines are good. We've used them for years and get some really good people. There's a Facebook group called Filipino Virtual Assistants, I think. It's got 56,000 of them in there. So just drop a message in there and you'll be sick of your phone blowing up, because they don't stop. You get a lot of inquiries, and then it's a case of sifting through the inquiries and making sure you're getting the right people. What would you advise is a good amount to put into Facebook ads to find leads? Whatever amount it takes to get an ROI that's worthwhile. So, you know, if I was to, you know, you could put 100 grand into Facebook ads, but if it was generating 200 grand's worth of profit, then it's worthwhile doing, you know. So as long as whatever you're spending is less than what you're actually bringing in at the top of the bottom of the funnel, then, you know, it's worthwhile doing. The thing with Facebook ads is, for me, if I was starting out with very limited budgets and you know, very limited brands, I would probably not go jumping on Facebook ads to try and get motivated seller leads and that sort of stuff. You can find them through a bit of, you know, you'd be better off spending money employing a VA to scroll Rightmove and pull out the right deals for you, and maybe even send some letters for you, than you would be probably trying to get Facebook ads going, unless you know how to do Facebook ads very well, which is an art in itself. And you know, we're constantly tweaking and running those. But most of our deals don't come from the Facebook ads. We probably use the Facebook ads more for the academy than we do the actual purchasing. Most of our purchases do just generally come from the usual estate agents, auctions, you know, those sort of routes. Can you recommend any lenders who provide bridging loans? Yeah, so my favorite at the minute is probably Paragon. They seem they want to work with us as a business. I like what they do for us, and you know, they seem quite open to what we do as a business as well. So they also have a very good product, which you pay slightly more for, but it's called a bridge to loan product. So they'll give you a bridge and they'll assess your deal at the beginning, come out and value it, but they'll also then put you on their loan product as soon as you finish the refurb. So, you know, so once you've done the refurb, they'll put it on the loan product, but they'll also tell you what the pre and post valuation will be. So you want to talk about knowing if your money's going to get stuck. They'll say it's worth 50 grand now. Yeah, we agree with that. Based on the list of works that you're going to do, yep, we see that being worth 85 grand when you're finished. You know, please crack on. And that gives you real confidence in what you can and can't do with this strategy. There are a few other lenders out there that do it. I think Precise do that as well, but I hate them. They nearly cost me a lot of money, so I'll never invest with them again. Together Finance, I use them a lot for just a simple, straightforward cash bridge. They don't offer the loan product, so you know, you are relying on your own comparables and your own judgment to make sure that you refinance off that loan. But they are a good lender as well. But there's loads of good people out there. I think the industry and the product range might change slightly following where we are right now. And, you know, so you just got to keep an eye on that and work with a good mortgage broker. A good mortgage broker is just as useful as a good builder. You know, so get in there and look to work with them long term, and they get to know your business. Yeah, they know how you operate, and, you know, it really speeds things up as well. In your early days, how did you price your very first refurb? What help did you seek? I'm very much a risk taker. That's my personality. So I'm a million miles an hour, and I take risks. My mom's always telling me to slow down, and so is my wife. But that's just me as a person. I've always been sort of two foot in. So the honest answer to that question is probably, I looked on the internet, made some guesses, rang a few people, got a few estimates, and thought that'll do me. And it's paid off. But, you know, that could have quite easily gone nastily wrong as well. But that's just my personality. I am like that. I don't mind taking risks. If you are a lot more cautious, you might want to do a bit more research into it. You know, you can, there will be builders that will actually go and quote on a project. You know, so I have actually, in the very early days, there were a few projects where I was a bit unsure, and because I'd worked with, I think it was Brian at the time, because I'd worked with him a couple of times. I do remember ringing him saying, is there any chance you just go and have a look at this and price it up for us before I make an offer? I think it was on an auction property, and sure enough, he went and picked the keys up. So, you know, there will be builders that will go and do this for you once you start building a bit of trust with them. What is an approximate average work hour to be paid to a Filipino, or do you pay on a daily basis, or by lead, or how? They tend to want to be paid per hour. For data entry, you shouldn't be paying any more than like $3 an hour. But then you could maybe put some bonus targets in there, which is kind of what we do. If they're doing more complex tasks, then we do pay them a bit more, but I don't think we pay any more than $5 an hour. You know, but they are good. They do have their uses, but they need simple instructions and they need to be managed. They do have a real good tendency of disappearing as well. So you could be working with them for like 6 months, everything's fine, you know, communication's great, and then one day you'll just never hear from them again. They just disappear. Is it easy to get a bridging loan? I don't have a personal mortgage myself, and I don't own any properties yet, so I have nothing for them to secure a bridging loan against. Bridging loan is not secured against your property. The bridging loan secured against the property that you're buying. You would put their they de-risk their lend by obviously you putting in, typically with a bridging loan, you've got to put 30% deposit in rather than 25% with a mortgage. So they're taking your 30% deposit as their sort of security, as well as obviously the first charge on the house. So it doesn't matter whether you've got a personal mortgage or not, or if you own any property. The only thing you might, like, say Paragon, for example, in the early days, they wanted to see like actual before and after photographs of recent projects that we'd done, and they wanted to see proof that we knew what we were doing, so that they were comfortable in lending the money and moving forward. So as you build, it gets a bit easier, but it shouldn't stop you. You know, there will be someone who will give you a bridging loan no matter what your circumstances are. Obviously, as long as you've got, you know, good credit history and everything else that goes with it. So, can you track the hours worked by a VA? You can, yeah. There's a, what's it called again? Screen Doctor. They basically, it sits on their system. It's your login, and it takes screenshots of that screen at random times. So if they say they've done 8 hours a day, it'll show you. So if you can see that they're on Facebook quite a lot of times on the screenshots, you know that they haven't been doing 8 hours a day. So I think it's about 20 quid a month or something like that. Have you ever tried to organise a facility rather than obtaining a bridging loan, as bridging is more expensive? No, I haven't. I'm a creature of habit as well as anything else. So if I find something that works, I kind of just stick with it. I wouldn't be against it. But, you know, if someone, you know, wanted to give me 100 grand a day and secure it on the first charge and want to take, you know, 8 or 10%, I'd do that. But, you know, I guess I've done a bit of that with kind of the family JVs that I've got on. But I'm just kind of stuck in my ways a bit, I guess, on that one. You know, I know how it works. I know how the process works. And, you know, as long as we can get the money back out and we can get it cash flowing quickly, then, you know, I'm quite happy to just pay the fees. You know, I think if you overanalyze the fees, they've all got fees. You know, mortgage products have got fees. So even if you do mortgage to mortgage, when you get to your 6-month rule, you're going to have a 3 or 4% redemption penalty. You know, you're going to have, you know, your release fee, et cetera, et cetera. So when you add them all up, at the end of the day, they're all lenders, they're all banks, they're all in it to make money. They just package these things up nice and differently to make them look good to people. But if you actually crunched it line for line, you know, to the pence, there probably wouldn't be that much difference. So I don't really get too fussed by it. I just kind of want the funds. I want to get the funds in use, and then I want to get my funds back out, and then I want to do it again. Right, well, it's been a pleasure. Obviously, if you want to jump in the WhatsApp group, please do so. You will get some value from that. And at the end of the day, it's 30 days for nothing. So what have you got to lose? And if you do want to maybe look at how I can help you build a property business and work with you closely for the next 6 months, then obviously schedule a call. We can have a chat. I've got plenty of time at the minute. So, you know, I have been jumping on a lot of calls with everyone. But hopefully, if nothing else, I've provided you with enough information to take away yourselves and start putting stuff into practice and start building your own property portfolios. And no matter what you do decide, I wish you all the best. And obviously in this very treacherous time, I hope you all stay safe, and hopefully we can all get through this as quickly as possible and back to what we're good at. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed it. Speak to you later.